So I'm pretty fucking upset because I'm a really really good petitioner when I feel like when I'm in an environment where I'm cherished. I cherish the heck out of people, and I really understand and understand how to build and scale companies. Like I understand how to position myself in a position of leadership where I do daily goals for people, weekly goals, monthly goals, yearly goals, 5-year plans. And I could have been doing this in any of these position jobs. I could have opened up my own petitioning company, honestly, if I would have, if people would really get to know their co-workers or their employees and treat them with respect. Like I was really like their cash cow. A lot of people just don't know it. Like that I've been going through a lot of stuff the last couple of years. But anyway, I it was really really cold up in Northern California. So I came down to Southern California, and the first person I looked for a coordinator that was by the beach because I love the beach. I love the ocean. I love nature. I love naturism. I love getting as close to the ocean and nature and being able to join in nature as I can. I just love stuff like that. I love hiking. I love mountains. I even love deserts. And I got this this employer by the name of Ryle Johnson. I started working for him. I had the job is to collect petitions, signatures. And I always screen my people before they sign. I double check if they've signed. And he said that it had super low validity. So I didn't jump anything on him, you know. I was like, okay, I just want to see proof of my paper. I started getting violent threats from him, and then I started getting treated disrespectful. Like, I'm pretty happy I talked to people. They didn't have any issue with it in the beginning. They actually kind of liked me and appreciated me. But after I asked about that, then everything that I do was fucked up because they were trying to shut me up about asking about the validity. And I'm a fucking human being. My life has fucking value, you know? I don't want to be cheated out of my money. And, that's just divine respect for yourself, right? There's no, like, fuck those people, right? I got retaliatory fired. He's like, you know what? Um, fuck trust or that I was talking about. It's all about respect. Sit down. And I just like, you know what? I've never been treated this disrespectfully in anyone. So he said, I'm gonna pay you just to leave. So then threatened to call the cops on me. I left. Um, yeah. So then I didn't receive my money. I was so fucking pissed. I was absorbing that dark energy. Like I could feel really dark energy. I could feel like they wanted to hurt me. And I was pissed off. So I ended up going to this other guy, Petition King. He's super cool guy. His name's Philip. However, it was somebody in the back office that wanted to fire me, and I can't really figure out why. That week I was really dealing with the heat. I'm eccentric. I'm excited. I expressed, even had some people agree with me that how fucked up it was that I had been taken away from my mother by the U.S. government in the Midwest for her having her titties out in her backyard and growing marijuana. And I had to go through the system, in the system where I was beat, raped, and drugged in the institutions because of that, and how fucked up that is. And then people wanted to bring up religion, and I said, well, I don't really believe in the Bible because it's written all by men. By the way, recently I found out that the reason that they used Jesus as a savior back then is because no one took women seriously. Women didn't hold any value in society, so someone explained that to me. So I do think the Christian message is good, and I'm kind of coming back to that. I've kind of strayed away from the church just because I feel like it's really dogmatic, and I believe that the universe is infinite, and that it's keeping women enslaved to a patriarchy. And you need the sunshine to be able to not get breast cancer. That's absolute facts through all the science of understanding how the mitochondria structure water from having sunlight touch meridians of the body, of the skin. 99.999% of our ancestors were naked. She was nature-based. She wasn't doing it for attention. But she was sexualized, and men pursued her because of that. But you know, who wouldn't pursue a woman that was the only woman that had enough confidence to actually have her shirt off and to actually not be a slave to an unhealthy society that causes breast cancer? Like, what man wouldn't pursue a woman like that? What else? Men, they get titties, they get breast cancer too. It has to do with the lymphatic, the fascia not being able. I'm gonna post a picture of fascia from a massage and non-massage, and then also show that has to do with hydration too, because getting a massage helps to stimulate hydration, unless you're just mega hydrated and you're not overworking your body. But a lot of people overwork their body and don't rest when they need rest because our society is all addicted to caffeine. But it goes deep. It goes deep. But oh yeah, back to the work. So I expressed how I got human trafficked because of that, how I was beat, raped, and drugged on 20 plus different pharmaceuticals. Oh, and one of those companies was actually Johnson & Johnson, and I was working for a guy with the last name Johnson. I don't know if they're connected. I hope not. That would suck, because there's billions of dollars in lawsuits against Johnson & Johnson, and that would mean the Johnson family hates women, because that's my life purpose, is to spread the message of women not getting breast cancer. I doubt that. I'm being a little facetious here because I'm a little bit irritated of how I was treated. But anyway, so when I was in the Petition King's office, I expressed that, and I expressed that my life's purpose is that women should be able to have their titties out instead of locking mothers in prison. And in that moment, I was so irritated with how they were treating me in there that I said, even if they if they got enemies against me that hate women so much that they drop a bomb on my ass, I'ma still fucking preach the truth. I said it like that. A couple people were rolling, laughing, just smiling. And then that pissed off a couple of people really bad. And then they were talking about like guns and stuff. And then I was trying to switch it. And they were talking about like Israel and Palestine. And I was like, nah, bro. We shouldn't be fucking thinking about war and shit. The only thing that should matter is making women's pussies squirt to the high heavens. And after that, a guy from the back came out and said that this is going to be his last day. This is going to be his last day. like, chill. What the fuck is going on? And like, so I got fired. And then I was looking for a different person. So I got this woman named Yvette. She accepted me 100%. She wished that a lot of men thought like me. The guy that she was turning into was saying that my bitch ain't gonna do that. So she was around men that were utilizing women as being called bitch. And so it's kind of a toxic environment, right? Even at her office. But she honored the things that I said. But the problem is she was turning into somebody else that couldn't get me paid on time. Matter of fact, when Philip found out that I was turning my paperwork into her because she turned it into him, she got mad at her and retaliated against her. And that's fucked up. Now, I went back to Philip's office early. I deal with a lot of chronic pain. I accidentally backed into the security guard's mirror. I busted off the plastic on his mirror. I called out Covina Police Department to come out. They were treating me like a criminal. They were smacking they were going like this to me, trying to intimidate me. I was tired. They're like, "Are you on any pharmaceutical drugs?" They were just treating me like I was the scum of the earth. And I was like, "What the fuck? I called you guys out here." I also called the police out when I was petitioning when I first got out to California, when I was petitioning. I fucking used to support the police with all my heart and soul. And I sold blue line flags. And anyway, these police, let me fucking tell you, not all of them, but some of them, like a lot of the police have come out and stood up for my rights to petition. And I've collected over probably 6 campaigns for police, because when the looting was happening, I was like, this is fucked up. We can't live in a society where people are looting from the grocery stores. This is fucking ridiculous. And anyway, when I was gonna post the video of what happened there, but they're like, I told them this hurts me a lot more than it hurts you, and they're like, they didn't believe that. Anyway, so when I backed into, I had to reset this. When I backed into the thing, the police were treating me disrespectful. I was really upset at the police. I told them to show me their card, and give me their card. They were refusing to give me their card. I no longer really feel like I can trust police departments, because you never know who they're hiring, and trust gets eroded in society. Now I understand. Like, I was collecting a lot of petitions, and I was battling with people to sign. I'm like, no, you're just a criminal that is trying to say all cops are bastards because you want to be able to commit crime. This used to be my position. Like, I'm like, if someone doesn't fucking believe in the police, they're fucking criminals. And like, who the fuck doesn't believe in the police? And then I started seeing the videos of the police executions, and I'm like, no, maybe it was just out of narrative. But then I watched too many videos that showed that there was police executions, right? And then I was living in the van. I was dealing with police that were threatening my livelihood. I just went through some things, but people used to try to convince me to get on board with all cops are bastards and to defund the police. And I didn't believe in that. But I did get into a little bit in the idea of police reform and police oversight through body cameras that are uploaded to City Watch, so that the trust of police can be kept, so that we're not having half the country wanting to defund the police, and then like 10% of those people saying all cops are bastards that were so traumatized for no reason by police. And I've seen thousands and thousands of videos of people going into issues with this. So now I'm pretty purple when it comes to the police thing, when I used to be pretty red. Anyway, I was parked down the street. The police officer came up. He said, "Step out of the vehicle." I didn't see that he had his camera on, so I started filming. I actually have that video. He's like, "Yeah, well, we're going to see if there's any vandalism." I'm like, "What the fuck you mean if there's any vandalism?" They were trying to say that, oh, did he hit the building? When I was there, they could see that I hadn't hit the building. They would have arrested me there at the place if I had hit the building. I was there to ask my boss for my paycheck that had fired me because he said it would be there in 3 days, and it wasn't. And Ryle Johnson took 2 weeks to pay me. He ended up actually paying me because I ended up contacting some lawyers because I need my fucking money. I have to survive, right? And I told him all that, like I had to do the front end. Like he knew that I needed that money and I was in a bad situation when I started working for him, the Ryle Johnson guy. And so the police slammed me on my ribs, fucked up my ribs. They still hurt. It's been like 2 weeks, almost 2.5 weeks. That officer, I told that officer how I had been collecting signatures. We ended up being cool. He ended up driving me back to my vehicle. I asked him why he wasn't making as much as I expected him to be making. I expected that officer to be making $200,000 because of all the petitions that I had gathered for them to have more money. If you're putting your life on the fucking line every fucking day, unless you're a fucking cunt and fucking slamming people and violating people's rights and jumping the gun on them and not actually giving people their rights, I believe that you're entitled to $200,000 because you're putting your life in a dangerous profession. And I told him that. And I told him how I had considered to work for the police department, right? Many times, but I can't because of when I was injured at my other job and how I was injured in Berkeley by the police when they fucked up my arm. I get a lot of elbow pain from that as well. But he ended up dropping me off at my vehicle, right? I called back the chief. He wouldn't drop the charge. He said it's up to the district attorney. They might not even do anything. You know, this shit pisses me off, right? I would have bent over backwards for any of these companies and helped them 10x their companies. I used to work for Kirby Vacuum Cleaners. We were very, very passionate. People would tell me that they weren't going to buy it. My customers, at the end of the day, at the halfway point of the demo, if they were going to buy it, said that, all right, we're ready to buy it. And I refused to sell it to them until the full factory demo was complete. And then they were like, well, let me cook you something. I'm like, nope, you said that you weren't going to buy it. I can't let you make an impulse decision. Because I wanted them to be that fucking sold that they gave me people's names to go to. And I help build people's daily goals, weekly goals, monthly goals, quarterly goals. And I ran a van. People would load up on the van and I would drive them out. I used to work 12, 16-hour days. And that environment in Kirby was so positive. It's absolutely amazing, that company, and how good that product is. It's a very expensive vacuum. And so we do have to charge a little bit more for it. But people always saw the value, and they saw the value in us. And they understood that we explained to them we are based upon commission. And people really can't understand paying that much money unless they see the full factory demo. So anyway, that's a different story from a different profession. But anyway, so I wasn't getting paid on time with the Yvette woman that honors and respects me as a soul being, because she's a woman, of course. You know, obviously she's gonna respect and honor, but she has to understand that she's not getting me my money in time. I'm already paranoid. I didn't get 2 deposits, and I turned in 2 pays for Petition King. I didn't get the last one. Thankfully, I got my big chunk one. But then I go to Larry's office, and I'm like, you know what, maybe, you know, I was like, the idea was I was paranoid about working for Larry because I didn't get my bonus, but I got a little sloppy the last month working for him on um, my validity. Once in a while, when I'm excited and I'm thinking about all this stuff, I will not do that well on my validity, right? I know when I'm locked into my validity. And so if I realize, like, I'm always thinking throughout the day, did I do good on my validity that day? That whole week and that whole time that I was working for Ryle Johnson, I knew that I was double asking for validity. And I've never had that low validity even when I wasn't thinking about validity as deeply as I was. But anyway, I did not get paid my bonus from Larry from the company, I forget his name, but Pivotal Politics. So anyway, I went into his office. It was packed. It was very, very tight. I remember the one in Arizona was very nice, had nice comfy seats. There was plenty of room, plenty of space. I'm not upset with the guy because he's running 3 offices here and he has to go to them. He only has 2 days to have them open. And so it was tight. It felt like we were sardines in a can. When there's that many people in there, and petitioning can be, an intense profession because you're getting a lot of rejection. You're getting people irritated with, because of all the division. You can absorb some gnarly energy sometimes, and it's nice to have your own space. Anyway, I went in there. Already had someone fucking being aggressive at me at how close I was to their paperwork. The other guy says, "You're okay." I was already kind of in there with a scout. Larry's like, he said in front of everybody in the office, and then a lady with the last name Miss Johnson was like bringing up police. She had a dog that looked like a police dog. Well, the other thing that I forgot to mention is they were trying to say that I was on some drugs at the other office because of how happy I am. And what really fucking pisses me off is that police have been found to put drugs on people. They had those police officers assault me, slam me on the ground. So they're using the fear of the police to try to silence me. And they did it again in that office with the lady's last name Johnson. And so we collect signatures for the police. Those police violated my rights. I feel so fucking betrayed. So fucking betrayed. I'm fucking furious. And I even texted Larry that I was willing to help him 10x. But what I realize is that they know, I think that they're stealing from everybody. And if I would have never gone to Ryle Johnson's office, I would have never figured it out. Now, I don't think the other people are, but no, they are. Well, Petition King definitely is. Yeah, I think they're all stealing because, yeah, they have to be. They have to be. Not in my mind, I try to justify, no, they're not stealing with me because I want to work for them. I want to make the money. I want to see the... But I'm very naive, right? So, I don't know how much money they're making off per person for not proving how much signatures they're actually gathering. But, dude, you can't threaten people and then fire them for asking to see proof of their commissions. But physically threaten them. Like, come on, man. The physical threat went through. I got... they put the dogs on me, which now I'm calling the police dogs, which is fucked up because I used to believe... I've listened to so many people from Defund the Police, all cops are bastards, that now I've seen the memes where police are lap dogs for tyrants. And so now I'm like on the opposite flip. But then I got to come back to center and realize all cops aren't bastards, all cops aren't dogs. But their lives are dangerous. They're being used by people in power that are manipulating and then they'll just jump on you. But they didn't care because those people collected signatures for police, so they were willing to beat my ass. And so now it's all coming together, you know. And so I've been watching things on the internet about smear campaigns and getting everybody else against you. And it's just like, for what? This is fucking ridiculous, you know? They could have just pulled me aside and then showed me the proof and said, hey, we made a mistake, and then paid me correctly. But the fear was getting found out that they could have been stealing commissions from everybody. I think they could have just been too busy to do that, you know? So now I'm in a pretty fucked up space. I'm posting this on here. I could take this and I could call up every fucking single lawyer in America and tell them what's going on and end up dead tomorrow, probably. But then fucking bust the whole fucking petition industry out. But I value my life, and I value them dropping my charge and just paying me right. And then we can just go on. Pay me correct. And the reason I state that I could die, because I do fear for my life. Because when I went into Larry's office, they had the lady with the Johnson last name. Somebody came by the other day, handed me this. The first person on there, his name is Will Johnson. Wanted me to have people take pictures of this. So I know that people are watching me, you know, and they're trying to use me. The usury is the basis of working for other people. And that's just facts. Being used. I'm not here to beef with anybody. I'm just here to be respected. I'm not here to collide with people's livelihoods. But when people see that I am in the position that I am in, they want to threaten me, they want to withhold pay, it really pisses me off. A true G honors people, because in honoring people, when people truly feel honored, they bend over backwards and they will do so much for other people. But when people are abused, they have to stand up for themselves in the situations that they're in out of pure survival. If I was in a better position, I probably would have just fucking let it go, because it's a headache. The time, right? The time of going through and trying to get help to get my pay and all that stuff. But the fact that I needed that money so fucking much, like, how fucking cold fucking blooded can you fucking be? So they did this to themselves. I have to express myself. I have to put it out there. I have to protect myself. I have to express my point of view as leverage to try to defend myself and my situation from my point of view. Otherwise, I have no dignity, and I would view that my life was worthless, that it was invaluable. And that's why you always want to treat other people the way you want to be treated. It's really fucking simple. The men in that office don't want to treat women the way that they want to be treated. And that's why women can't have their shirts off and they have breast cancer. Because of the science of the myofascia and how you need the sunlight to structure the water for hydration. So this is all silly. This is some bullshit. Like, if I were to just get paid my money that I was worth, I would take this video off the internet, put it behind me. I realize the stress and the ambition, and I put myself in the position of these people that are so ambitious that they want that money, they need that money, because I used to be very ambitious myself, so I have compassion for those people. I think it's wrong what they're doing, but I sympathize with them and their suffering because I have myself been in the same suffering of wanting more and wanting more and wanting more and never feeling satisfied. And everybody feels pain in their life. So I can easily turn the page on everything. I need to be treated with dignity and respect. And it's that simple. You know? I'm a fucking human being, god damn it. My life has value. Goddess damn it. So that's how I feel, and that's real. And I'm sick of being a bitch. I life has been so painful for me that sometimes I realize that, hey, I go through the ideas of how this could be bad for me if I stand up for myself. The fear comes up. But it's like, you know what? It can't be worse than the pain. Death can't be worse than the pain that I've had to endure in my body from having my claim denied at the Amazon factory, and from the pain of being treated like a bitch. And I really feel for Yvette and all women that men think that they're just bitches. I kind of I can't regret the past. I was offered $30 an hour while I was riding the bus back in Arizona. And I was able to get out of living out of a shack, a chicken coop that was converted to a living space. I was able to get out of that. I was able to buy a vehicle. The season ended too early. Like, this is seasonal work. Like, seasonal work, you should have trust. My life's been so unstable because I kind of regret ever doing this. Like, if I could go back in time with the wisdom that I had now, I would never have gotten into the petitioning industry because it's seasonal. It's not consistent. You got to travel everywhere if you really want to keep it consistent. And it pays better, but it comes with a lot of emotional stress. And I'm not satisfied. Like, I'm really not satisfied with it. If I would have had air conditioning and I wouldn't have been living in my vehicle and I would have had a place that I could actually survive and stay, I would have been able to deal with it because I can deal with a lot of shit. Like, I could deal with a lot of rejection. I've been rejected my whole life. I'm rejected by most people, just like the women are that fight for equal rights for women. Like, I've been rejected for the concept of wanting to be able to travel my own home planet without having to feel like a slave bitch. To have to be forced into having patriotism for being an American. When really I see so much beauty in the country of Africa, Brazil, Scandinavia, England, all these different countries. And it's zesty. All the food is delicious. So, I don't know. The eagles fly free in the sky. Ever since I came out of my mother's vagina, I've been dealing with some bullshit. The world's brutal, you know. It is what it is, right? What am I going to do? Cry like a little bitch? No, I'm going to speak my truth and try to get women equal rights because they all have breast cancer. And I don't want to have children with a woman who's going to get breast cancer and not have supercharged nutrients and hydrated fashion or breast for the nurturing of children. So Here we are. Here I am. Beefing with people just because I want to get paid and because I want women to have equal rights. In industries where men think women are bitches. And maybe they are, but I'm sure men act like bitches too. So we got to treat each other the way we want to be treated. We got to talk to women as if they're goddesses. And oh yeah, when I went into the Riley Johnson's or no, not Larry's office, like we're all murderers. I wasn't listening to what was happening, but I was like, what? They're all murderers in here? Like, he was trying to scare me, and I'm like, I'm not going to be scared. Maybe they're all ex-military. I don't give a fuck. If everybody in there has murdered people in the fucking military, or they're fucking in a gang, or they're all felons, I don't give a fucking shit. Your women deserve to have their fucking titties out. I wasn't really listening. I just heard that in the back while I was in my head stressing out about if this was going to work right. And, your women fucking deserve to have your fucking titties out. If I was a fucking woman and I couldn't have my fucking titties out in the park, I would be so fucking pissed off that the society was okay with me not being able to enjoy nature and the breeze when I'm the fucking bringer of fucking life. You fucking heard me? That's my motherfucking mother that created me in her fucking womb. You fucking hear me? Fucking pisses me. Women, I have a hard time respecting women that don't fight for their own fucking dignity. And I know they have so much within them to stand the fuck up for themselves and empower themselves. Let's go, women!